has the blackmail files on him. I guarantee. I mean, he got drunk there. We have videos of him being drunk there, singing Arlo Guthrie's, Woody Guthrie's tune. This land is your land. This land is my land. They're all drunk singing. I mean, Woody Guthrie was a communist. He may have sang some songs we all like, but here you got all these people partying. What else did he do over there with his new bride that got filmed?
Yeah. So we've got the Democrats out there pushing eugenics now.
Yeah.
Right? Pushing population control. I don't like the term population control, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's gun control is population control, by the way. That's how you control the population is you take away their guns.
Which is also what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got Beto saying, we're going to come, if I'm president, I'm coming to get your guns. I'm going to force your buyback. I'm going to mandatorily make you give up your
bullet at a time, Beto. One bullet at a time. And it's a high-capacity mag. When it's empty, then you can take it. After I'm done clubbing you, what's left.
And so Alyssa Slotkin was in town talking about gun control a little bit up in our district, the 8th district up there. And she wants to talk about universal background checks for everything. Now, here's my problem with universal. Besides the fact that, it's really just the first of the slippery slope, right? Because if you have to get a universal, they're going to keep that information. They're going to end up keeping track of who's got guns so they can come get them later on, right? Okay. That's the slippery slope.
Yes.
Yes?
I really am concerned here. I may have just violated a federal crime. It may have sounded like I was threatening a presidential candidate.
What?
Well, when I said, here, Beto, come and take my gun one bullet at a time. That's not my intent, folks. It was.
Okay. That didn't even cross my mind, dude.
All right.
I see stuff like that all the time. Somebody wants to come and get your guns. Yes, that's fine. But here's what I'm saying, though. How do you enforce such a stupid law as universal background check? Two private individuals want to sell each other a gun, or one wants to buy and one wants what? There's 400 million or more guns already out there in the market that the government doesn't know where they are or who's got them or anything else. So Bill wants to sell Sue a gun. And Sue's like, I really don't want to go get this universal background check. Can you sell it? Well, yeah, I'll sell you the gun anyway. How are you going to enforce a private sale for a universal check? I don't understand that. How are you going to do that?
Well, how are you going to do that in Chicago? All those guys selling guns out of the trunk of their car. Now they've got to go to some federal registry and get the brother in the hood, get him, in the Crips, got to get him background checked, and then they can sell to him out of the trunk of their car.
And it's the same with these red flag laws. Listen, if somebody thinks somebody has an issue, a mental issue, right? Don't go take their guns. Take them to the doctor. That should be the process. Hey, we're worried about you. Let's go see a doctor.
Well, my point is,
don't take his guns.
Yeah,
take him, and if he's a danger to himself or somebody else, I would think that's reason to detain somebody.
You're just going to red flag him when he could actually kill somebody with a car. He could do danger to himself or a family member with a knife. What? You're only worried about the guns. You're not worried about people. You're only worried about the guns because if you think he's going to do damage to himself or others with a gun, then you better go far beyond that and talk about starting to put people in homes without their consent anymore, like we used to do, because they were a danger to society. But we don't do that anymore, and that's why we get what we get.
This is all about Democrat control of the populace. That's what it is. It's nothing else. Because
population control.
You go to the FBI statistics, and more people are dying by hammers. Right? And I think the gun rifles, the AR-15 or the rifles
very
are
minuscule.
400.
They show up in the news. That's all. They don't show up in Chicago. Exactly. The murders in Chicago. Okay, how many gun deaths occur in Chicago on a weekend? Far surpass the El Paso shooting, the Parkwood shooting. But no, what gets in the news? But these are blacks. They don't count.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the mayor of Chicago gets up and says, "Oh, but we have these tough gun laws. They're bringing them in from the outlying communities outside of Chicago where the gun laws are lax." Oh, yeah? Well, then how come they're not killing themselves out there?
Well,
if they're not killing themselves out there, then that's not the problem.
Well, the law, if the law is meant to fix the problem, why isn't it?
Exactly.
Why aren't they stopping? Why don't the guns stop right at the city limit?
In California.
Right? Because laws are designed to punish people, not to stop the crime.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Probably preaching to the choir here, but
and in this case, all you're doing is punishing the legal, law-abiding gun owners. Mm-hmm. Because you know what? A criminal does not obey the laws. I don't care what law. I don't care how many laws. Criminals don't obey laws, period.
I've noticed that. I think that's why we call them criminals.
For my own sake here, I heard this on Gruber earlier this week too, and it got my craw because I'm a vape guy, right? I gave up smoking cigarettes, which I think is huge. And the studies show, these are studies out of the UK and everywhere else, that a vape is 95% better than a cigarette.
Keep telling yourself that. Okay. I'll agree with you just for the point of being friendly.
95% is what the studies are showing. There's all the tar and the nicotine and all that stuff, right? I'm now down to 0% nicotine in my little vape. So really, I've got a glycol. It's a sugared water, basically, with some flavoring.
You're inhaling sugar water.
I don't really even inhale it. For me,
I've watched for the diabetes now.
No, listen. There's a lot of people like me. You don't really inhale a vape because it's.
But you're looking for the flavor.
I look for the flavor, right? I can envision at some point. I'm on a diet too. I'm going to go to the restaurant instead of ordering the key lime pie. I'm going to get my little vape pen and I'm going to have my little key lime taste, right? But anyways. So Whitmer this week they're talking about banning.
I thought she did.
Or maybe she did.
She did.
Right?
They banned
in 30 days.
She dictatorially banned flavored vape. You can only have natural tobacco flavored vape.
So here's my point, right? So instead of punishing the kids who are illegally breaking the law and smoking underage, which is what should it? Put them in jail for 30 days. That'll teach them. Watch how quickly that ends. Punish them. Don't punish the adults who are trying to quit smoking because it's a huge, huge thing.
I asked my friend at work, how is this going to affect him? Oh, he was really upset about it. He's a lib. And he was really upset about it. I said, so what's your workaround? Because you're an engineer. What's your workaround? Oh, it's easy. You buy the tobacco-flavored stuff, and then you add the flavor. You buy this flavor separate and add it yourself.
Yeah.
So there's your workaround.
There's your workaround. Or you go to Ohio and get your P.O. But whatever. But so my point is this, though, right? Because Juul, which is probably the biggest, got bought by who?
I don't know.
R.J. Reynolds, I think.
Oh, wow.
One of the big tobacco companies. May not be Reynolds, but I think it's Reynolds. Bought Juul. Now, if you've been listening to radio anywhere in this state, you'll hear commercials from Juul. We agree that children should not be vaping, and that's why we stopped selling flavored blah, 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 and we only do the nicotine. Juul does not sell a 0% nicotine.
Really?
Why? Because they want you addicted. Because they want you to use the nicotine in the tobacco products. Now, here's my question.
You really smoke a non-nicotine vape?
I have zero nicotine.
I didn't know that was available. That's an eye-opener.
It is available. And yet the biggest company on the market won't offer it. Ask yourself why. And so here's my thought. What special interest is paying Gretchen Whitmer to do this?
Ooh.
I'm just asking.
Tin foil.
I'm just asking. That was so I got that off my chest. I'm a little yanked about it. All right, end of the show.
Calm down. Calm down. You're getting red again.
Okay, until next week, folks, go to thedailydrift.com and currentonline.com and try advertising with us. See you next week.
See ya.